Good evening. Bereshus, esteemed rabbis, Rabbi Yeshua Biton, Mordechai of Congregation Emek Banim, Rabbi Ari Herzig, Rav of Chabad of Encino, Rabbi Avram Wakshal, Director of Yad Menachem, and Rabbi Avram Stuhlberger, Dean of Valley Torah, our partners in educating Jewish children of Los Angeles. Bereshut, our Consul General, Mr. Israel Bachar. Bereshut, our trustees, our lay leaders, our educational leaders, all of you that comprise of Emek Hebrew Academy, Teichman Family Torah Centers, past, present, and most importantly, our future. We'd like everyone to please stand up so we could say Tehillim for our Israeli soldiers and the hostages. Shira Malot, Esayanai El-Harim, Me'ayin Yavo Ezri. Ezri Me'im Adonai Oseh Shamayim Va'aretz. Al Yiten Lamot Raglecha, Al Yanum Shomrecha. Hinei Lo Yanum V'Lo Yishan Shomer Yisrael. Adonai Shomrecha, Adonai Tzilcha Al Yad Minecha. Yomam HaShemesh Lo Yakeka Ve'yarech Balayla. Adonai Yishmorcha Mikol Ra, Yishmor Es Nafshecha. Adonai Yishmor Tzeitzcha V'Echa Me'ata Ve'ad Olam. Please be seated. I'd like to begin by thanking Mrs. Sandra Rabibo and our trustee committee for the painstaking efforts that they have invested in every detail of tonight's incredible event. Sandra, you have the Midas touch. Thank you. Emek's past has been blessed with both vision and passion. It was the vision of Rabbi Gilbert Shoham over 60 years ago, who understood that a community cannot grow with a shul alone. You need to have a yeshiva where the boys and girls have a place to go and study Torah so that they could develop their character and strengthen their commitment to Yiddishkeit. I am happy to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Steve Shoham, son of Rabbi Gil Shoham, and his wife Susie are with us tonight. It took the passion of Rabbi Yochanan Stepan to take Emek to the next level, masterminding and implementing the building of our current Magnolia campus. It is my honor to acknowledge the presence of our school matriarch and her family, Mrs. Ruth Teichman. For over 60 years, Mrs. Teichman and her late husband, Saul Alav Shalom, have been and continue to be the backbone of our school and community. Thank you. I would also like to welcome the fourth generation Teichman, Judah, who is with us today. As our community continues to grow, our school continues to adapt to the needs of our community. However, the most important element that is the cornerstone and fundamental value of Emek Hebrew Academy Teichman Family Torah Center, that is immutable and unchanging, is our commitment to be inclusive, reaching out to Jews of all backgrounds, spreading the message of Avas Yisrael. Sensitivity and tolerance for diversity under the penumbra of halakha. I want to stress that, under the penumbra of halakha. Accepting families no matter what their personal observance levels are, and guiding them through educating their children on a path of growth and spiritual fulfillment. Avas Yisrael is not loving people who look and think like you do. Avas Yisrael is loving another Jew because he or she are Jewish. Emek's mission is to produce children that are engaged and passionate about their Yiddishkeit, focusing on what we are doing right and not what others are doing wrong. What is that connects us and not what divides us? Today, I look back at 15 dinner speeches. Believe it or not, this is my 15th dinner speech. This is the prevailing message that I've imparted every single year, because I believe this was the message of our forefathers. However, tonight, I would like to add an important nuance. In addition to the message of inclusion and Avas Yisrael, I believe there is an additional element that sets Emek above and beyond many other Jewish institutions. And what makes me feel honored that I have a relationship with many of you sitting here tonight. The Reshiva of Ner Yisrael in Baltimore, Rabbi Yaakov Weinberg, Zichrono Tzaddik Livracha, once explained, I was in yeshiva in Baltimore for 3 years, and I heard him explain a passage. We were learning Masechet Baba Batra, it was Daf Chaf Bet, and he said over a beautiful, very poignant explanation of the passage. The Talmud is lauding the accomplishments of a great rabbi whose name was Rabbi Yeshua ben Gamla. Now, this Rabbi Yeshua ben Gamla actually was the founder of the Jewish day school. This goes back 2,000 years before the destruction of the second Beit HaMikdash. And the Talmud tells us that Rabbi Yeshua ben Gamla looked around in his community, and the majority of children were being educated the way the Torah says. Each father was teaching their own child. And if they couldn't, they would hire someone, get a melamed, get a tutor to teach their child. But there were orphans. There were people without fathers. What were they to do? How were they supposed to learn Torah? How did they get educated? So he started with 5 students. He took 5 students, 5 orphans, and he started creating the day school. Created how many kids are allowed to be in each class and how they get taught. And then he took this model from his community and it spread through all of the communities throughout, both in Eretz Yisrael and outside of Eretz Yisrael. And that became the day school movement. So Rabbi Weinberg asked an interesting question. He said that how many orphans were there? 10% of the parents? Maybe 15%? He says, and it's incredible that this system that he created for 10, 15% of these families, which was bidiavad, that was a post facto situation because the best situation should have been father teaching child, became accepted as the norm. Why would that be the norm? Shouldn't the norm still be father, child, hire individually, teacher, child? Why did it become the norm that the way we teach is the system that he instilled for the orphans? And Rabbi Weinberg said as follows. He said, if you have a community that not everyone has the ability to be educated, you don't have a right to call yourself a community. In order to be a community, you have to set up a system that everybody is able to be educated, even those who don't have fathers, even those who can't afford for the melamed. Everybody, and that becomes the lechatchila that everybody now does. And I think the message that I took from that, and I think this is the message of our founders, starting from Rabbi Shoham, Rabbi Stepan, Mr. Salt Teichman, is that communities are growing, and you have schools that are developing, Baruch Hashem, many, many schools. However, in most cases, the schools are being developed, parents come together, and they create a school. What will be good for my child? What is going to take care of my child? The message of Emek has always been is, what can we do for somebody else's child? That's what I think makes us unique. Because the focus is not just for our children. The focus is for everybody's children, for other children as well. I believe that is what elevates us. And there are many people, many of the donors, many of the lay leadership that feel that as well. They might not even have children in our school. But they understand because we've got to do for other people's children as well, not just for our children. George W. Bush might have promoted No Child Left Behind, but it was Rabbi Shua ben Gamla was the one who took the initiative and started the program. I'm honored and humbled to see so many of you who share this vision, the vision and the passion, with a tremendous amount of siyata d'shmaya from our great leadership team, who I'd like to acknowledge, our principal, Rabbi Levi Solomon, our general studies principal, Mrs. Michelle Andron, our early childhood director, Mrs. Bernice Zacharias, our vice principal, Ms. Rabbi Moshe Tropper, Mr. Flicker, our wellness director, our CFO, Mr. John Brooks, who together with our committed group of lay leadership have allowed us to become the role model of educational excellence, not only for the schools in Los Angeles, but throughout the country, with the focus of not only on our children, but creating a Torah learning environment for the children of others. There is a beautiful perush that is written, it's called the Be'er Yosef, by Rabbi Yosef Salant. It goes back about 150 years ago. And he says a very interesting thing. It says, we had a few weeks ago, Parashat B'Shalach, it says that Bnei Yisrael, the Jews left Egypt chamushim. Chamushim, Rashi says, means either they were armed or they were 1/5. 80% of the Jewish people died in the plague of darkness so that the Egyptians should not see them getting buried. They didn't want to leave. Unbelievable statistic. Only 20, they went chamushim, only 20% went out. And he brings down, what does it mean they were armed? So the Targum Yerushalmi, one of the Targumim, the translations of the Torah, says they were chamushim b'mitzvot. The question is, what does it mean they were armed with mitzvot? What mitzvot? They had only 2 mitzvot they were given. They had Brit Milah and they had Korban Pesach. What do you mean they were armed with mitzvot? So he says that the 2 perushim fit together. He said the adults died. 80% of the adults died. What happened to all their children? So he said each family adopted the children of the 4 other families. And they went out. They were not only taking care of their own children, but they took the care of the 4 other families that lost their children, and in that zchut, they were able to cross the Kriyat Yam Suf, because they didn't just take care of their own, they took care of other people's as well. It's in this spirit that I want to acknowledge 2 organizations that are with us tonight that share the same values and have dispersed hundreds of thousands of dollars, not only to Emek, but to schools all over Los Angeles, to ensure that Jewish children do not get trapped in the public school system and are afforded a Torah education. It is my honor and pleasure to call up Rabbi Yeshua Biton and of Congregation Ema Banim and Rabbi Avram Wagshal, Director of Yad Menachem, to receive a token of our appreciation. One parting thought. As we celebrate Emek's success, and as we should, my first dinner we had around 500 students in the school, and now we're approaching 1,100, and we should celebrate that. But we cannot become complacent. I did the math, looking at this Pew study and looking at the study from the BJE. There are currently over 95% of school-age Jewish children that are still not getting a Torah Jewish education. 95%. I know how much all of you have done. but I implore all of you, it's time to dig deeper. We have to ensure that the Emek experience will be available to all Jewish children. Sol Teichman, alav shalom, once told me, and I first started, he called me in, I went into the inner chamber in the house, surrounded by the Sifrei Torah, and he challenged me. He said, Rabbi, you fill up this building and we will help you build another one. Tonight I want to proclaim, Saul, I know you're here. It's time. I'm doing my part. It's time for you to do yours. We need another building. So in closing, I want to leave you with a blessing that both the Chasam Sofer in Pressbook, close to 200 years ago, and Lubavitcher Rebbe gave to their students when they would go out to communities to start their building of mekomot that were holy places, and had schools and had yeshivas. And he would say to them, Hashem promises us, you take care of his children, and he promises he'll take care of yours. Thank you. Everyone, please turn to the screens for a short video.